right, we got everything working here. Yeah, the mic's working. Finally here. Started a little late today. Sorry about that. It happens sometimes, you know. It's just one of those things. Actually, I had to take some injections. And for my psoriasis, finally back on that medication. Happy about that. So, thanks for joining me if you're here and if you're watching. And if you're not, come join me. What's wrong with you? Thank you for being here. All right, today we're back again. This is actually, holy crap, I think this is third time this week. No, wait, I did Wednesday, I did yesterday, and today is fourth time this week. I actually did 4 live streams this week. Did I count that right? That seems off to me for some reason. I don't really know why. I guess it's because it's been so long since I did so many live streams in 1 week. Well, yeah, it's fine. I'm getting used to it, getting back into the swing of things. Trying desperately to, at least. Don't always succeed, but, you know, what are you going to do? So, thanks for joining us. If you're just listening, or if you're listening to a rebroadcast, or if you're joining me now, my name is Mr. Funky Dude. I am here to brighten your day up, maybe talk to you, give you a little bit of advice on whatever you think you might want to talk about, or if you just want to come in and talk about your day, talk about how nice your day has been, or your week, or talk about something that has brought you joy. We want to hear that too. If you have something that you need some encouragement on, or if you need a little, pep talk through, we're here for you that too. So thank you for joining us. We don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. At least we try not to. Find those things to be diversive. So if you'd like to ask anything, feel free. You can go to Mastodon. Hopefully you've come from Mastodon. And I have put a link in there to be a guest. So if anybody wants to be a guest, they can do that too. So what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about? I have no clue. I rarely have any clue what we're going to talk about. A lot of times I'm just relying on the guests coming in and talking. That's how much this is about you. That's how much this show is about the guests that come in. Is like literally it's built around you. I've got nothing. I'm sitting here talking to myself, being whimsical about my day. That's it. Until you show up. But so today, oh man, I felt like I didn't get enough sleep last night. I woke up like about 45 minutes earlier than I wanted to. And then I went back to sleep like a couple hours later after I ate breakfast. Just because I was tired still. So I got like an hour's nap. And it took me a little while to like get myself together, wake up. Have you ever had that problem yourself? What do you do when you need to wake yourself up and get your day started and get going? Do you wake up before your alarm clock? Do you wake up right when your alarm clock goes off? Do you not have an alarm clock? I haven't used an alarm clock in like, I don't even know how long. I mean, if I have to be somewhere specifically at a time where it's early in the morning, I will set the alarm. But almost always, I wake up before the alarm. Usually, like if I'm setting the alarm, I'll wake up like 20 minutes before the alarm, usually. It's like I have some kind of internal clock that's aware of like what time it is and when I need to wake up. But then the problem is that alarm goes off in my head even when there is no alarm set. So like I'll go to bed like say 10:30, 11 p.m. every night. And I generally wake up anywhere between 5 and 6 in the morning. So I average about maybe 6.5 hours sleep every night. If I'm getting 7 hours sleep, I'm doing good. So I don't complain about that at all. But mostly I probably get about 6 to 6.5 hours sleep per night. That's been if I get any less than 6.5 hours, like if I get 6 hours sleep, I'm like walking the line of kind of like, how do I say it? I walk the line of being awake and not awake. I'm like a day walker. I'm like, oh, I'm tired, but no, I still can get things done. And it's just like I'm dragging myself along through the day. Have you ever had that issue? Where you just like get up in the morning and your morning's going through it. You can just feel that you're dragging yourself through it. Like, you're not tired enough to go back to sleep, but you know that you're lacking the energy that you need to do really, have the attitude that you want to have throughout that day, right? Well, that was the same thing for me this morning. Oh, well, not exactly. My problem was this morning was that I woke up and at 5 o'clock and 45 minutes before I wanted to. I usually like to wake up around 5:30, 5:45. And we don't get up. Me and my girlfriend don't really get the day started till about, I want to say, between 6:30 and 7. That's when usually when we get up, start getting the day going. We walk the dog, or she walks the dog, gets going. So my sleep is very important to me, because if I don't get enough sleep, I'm useless. If I can get just 6.5 hours or more, 7 hours. Oh my God, 7 hours sleep. You don't even know. I am like freaking a god that day. I don't even remember. I remember last time I got more than 7 hours sleep. I imagine that if I got more than 7 hours of sleep, that somehow I would gain supernatural abilities. Like I would become a superhero or something like that. I would gain some kind of power over the cosmos if that was to happen. So the universe does what it can to keep me down. So it only lets me have 6.5 hours sleep minimum or maximum. So what are you going to do about that, right? You got to just keep pushing forward. Well, that was me this morning. I woke up this morning and I was, okay. I got maybe 5.5 hours sleep, but that last hour, I don't know if it's just something in my brain, because I know that I missed that last hour of sleep, or because I woke up too early, or if it's just I'm really tired because I lacked an hour of sleep. I don't know what it was, but I was tired when I woke up. I was like, ugh. I use a CPAP, because I have sleep apnea, it works well. So I'm breathing during the night, everything else. And so I get up, start the day, start to work, go through the day. In the morning, I should say, get up, go downstairs, feed the dog. Tam, my girlfriend, makes me some, breakfast, which is nice. And they leave, and probably around 9 o'clock, I decide to go back upstairs because I am tired. I am going to go back to sleep for a little while. So I did. I went back to sleep for another hour. I woke up and I thought, okay, I'm ready. Let's start the day. But even then, for a couple of hours, I was still groggy. I really don't feel like I pulled out of this grogginess till about an hour ago. 1:15. It's 2:21 right now. It's probably about 1:15. That's when I started waking up. But have you ever had that problem? What do you do to get yourself up in the morning, get yourself going? What is your routine to build up your energy? Or do you wake up and are you a morning person? You're ready to go. Let's go. We got to go do this. Got to go do that. Go do this. It's kind of how my girlfriend is. Me, not so much. I would rather prefer just to sleep in until I didn't have to get up. You know what I mean? Those days are great where you're sleeping in and it's, you're, how do you say it? What is wrong over here? Hold on a second. I'm having a technical, there we go. Okay. So, I'm one of those guys that I'd rather just sleep in if I can, just get as much rest as I can before I start my day. That is not something that's ever been in my cards, especially having dogs. I've had dogs most of my life, so you gotta get up their routine. You can't make them wait for you, right? My dog is usually going to the bathroom at the same times every day. There's a strict schedule that we keep with my dog. Get up with him. And we, take him for a walk first. My girlfriend takes him for a walk, and they come back and then feed, water. He's fine till about noon. Then I take him out to go potty, bring him back. Goes through his day. Then around 4:30, we feed him again, take him out to go potty. And then around between, I would say 6:30 and 7:30. Sometime around that area, he's going to go for a poop walk again. And then we take him out one more time just to go potty at 10 p.m. So he's on a schedule. I've always kept my dogs on schedule. I'm telling you, if you have a dog, and if you love your dog, you have to have your dog on a feeding schedule and a bathroom schedule. It makes all the difference in the world. I see people just leaving dog food down for the dog all the time and waiting for their dog to tell them when they need to go. No. Keep your dog on a schedule. It makes things so much better. Look, sometimes my dog has to go to the bathroom, when it's not on schedule. When it does that, I know something's wrong with its diet. It usually means it's going to have diarrhea or something like that, right? And so, he'll come and tell me. Me and my dog communicate with each other very well. I can tell, he's trying to tell me, hey, buddy, I got to go. He doesn't, it's just the way like he stares at me. Dobermans are weird, man. Like other dogs, they will come up around to you and they will say, they'll start whimpering or they'll start moving back and forth. Dobermans are like silent assassins. These are like the cleverest dogs in the world. They will just like, my dog will just like come up to me and and that's it. Just this cold stare. just like, okay, bud, let's go. Or I'll tell someone else, someone needs to go take Dax. I tell Tam, you need to take Dax out. And, or if we're in the bedroom, what he'll do is actually he'll pace between me and Tam. I'll be on one side of the bed. She'll be on the other. He'll go like back and forth, just like staring at us. Like, cause sometimes we don't catch him. So he'll go to the other person to see if they'll catch him staring at him. And like, we call it the hard stare. If Dax has given us the hard stare, that means we need to take him out. He's like sleeping over there right now. He keeps looking at me every time I say his name. So yeah, we take, I always say this to anybody that has a dog. Get your dog on a feeding schedule and you'll have your dog on a pooping schedule. It just makes things so much easier. Are you a dog lover? Anybody out there listening right now, are you a dog lover? Whether or not you're listening live or if you're watching this later on a rebroadcast, put down in the comments for me or, put in the chat, what kind of dog do you have? Do you have your dog on a schedule or is your dog pretty much just like when it tells you it's got to go, it goes? And how do you deal with the hassle of that? That's always amazes me. One of the things I taught my dog to do is pee and poop on command. Like when I take my dog out and I want it to go potty, I just tell it to go potty. Like I'll give you an example. This morning I took him out. I don't want to keep saying his name because he's going like, why are you saying my name? I took my dog out this afternoon just to let him go pee, right? To give him some relief. And I don't take him out on a leash. I live in a condo, big apartment complex or a condominium complex. And I took him out front and I knew no one else was going to be out there, but he's very good at listening to me. Like very, very, very good at listening to me. So we walk out and he starts walking a little farther. I usually let him walk to the corner, which is probably maybe about, I want to say 18, 20 feet away. And usually I'll let him walk, but I was kind of in a hurry. I wanted to get back upstairs. So he sniffs one tree and then I see him start walking towards the other tree and I say, go potty. And then he immediately goes back to the first tree, goes potty, and then comes back to me. Right? Sometimes I'll let him go where he wants to go, but if I'm in a hurry, I just tell him to go, he'll go. And then he'll come back to me. That is something that if you have a dog, if you haven't trained your dog to do, you should train your dog to do that. And it's not hard. It's really not hard. Here's the trick to doing that, right? It's really simple. Just say the command. Ours is go potty or potty. And the way I train him, or I even like go poop, like that. The way I trained it is that whenever he did the thing, I would say the thing. Like, so when I saw him trying to pee, I would say, go potty, good boy, go potty, like that. Or if he was pooping, I would go, good boy, poop, good boy, poop, like that, right? Go poop. And so after a while, I would start saying that to him before I could tell, like when he started lifting leg or squat, I would start saying it to him then. And then it got to a point where I just keep backing that up. And eventually got to a point where we go walking. And when I got to a certain spot, I would tell him to do it. He would do it. It's not a hard thing to train. Right? What? What are you talking about? You look funny with the sound down? I don't know what that means. Are you not hearing me, Wolf? What's up, Wolf? How you doing? Can you hear me? Like now you got me all confused. You threw me off. You look funny with or is your sound? You said your sound was down. I don't know what that means. I hope you all can hear me. That would suck. Now I have to check my sound. Hold on a second. Okay. That's when I started like. I'm getting sound across. All right. Good. I was a little paranoid there. Saved R, how you doing? Saved, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Think you'll be fine. That's wonderful. So yeah, I trained my dog. Saved, we're talking about right now. I'm talking about my dog and how I trained it to go to the bathroom on command, and how that's an important thing to train any dog you have. And I'm telling people, hey, like also my dog's on a feeding schedule, a walking schedule. Makes things so much easier when you do that. People who walk their dog when their dog tells them to, or feeds or keeps food on the ground. I don't know how you keep any order in your house with your dog. Like, it's amazing. Good for you. That's wonderful. I don't know how you do it. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Well, if you have me muted, you're still working. All right, cool. Well, I just didn't completely understand. You can't hear me now anyway. But Saved, how you doing today? I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're here. Just started about 20 minutes ago. So we're still waiting for people to come in. Hopefully more people come in. Also, hopefully now that I'm streaming on a better schedule, hopefully we'll start having more people coming in. I'm going to start doing one night a week. Maybe two. One night a week, maybe two. One night a week for sure. Probably on Wednesday nights, I'm going to start streaming in the later part of the evening. I know that. See, I stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's usually when I start. I know that's when a lot of people are at work. A lot usually at the end of the day if they're on the West Coast, or in the middle of the day. End of the day if they're on the East Coast. Middle of the day on their West Coast. And so I don't get a lot of people in because of that. I get it. The reason I don't stream at night is because I want to be with my girlfriend. That's the time that we get to spend together. It's usually just a couple of hours. We spend it either watching TV or in bed talking to each other or whatever else we're doing, right? That's a quality time, and I don't sacrifice that time for anyone or for anything, right? That is very important time to us. Wednesday nights, she goes off and plays Pokemon Go with some friends, does some training, stuff like that. She loves the game Pokemon Go, avid player, dangerous player, Wolf would tell you. And and so Wednesday I have free. Wednesdays she usually don't come back home till around 8:30, sometimes 9. Just fine. I love that she has her hobbies and then she goes out and does that and what have you. That's great. So I'm going to start taking that night and streaming. So I'm going to start streaming from like 6 till 8. About that, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hopefully I've had my dinner by then. We'll see. It might be a mukbang. Might be a mukbang video live stream as well. I might be eating in the middle of the stream. But I'm going to do it, see what happens as far as like getting new people in, getting more people in. And, who knows what might happen because of that. Maybe I'll have another night where it will be Tam and I together. Tam used to come on the stream a lot. People used to love having her. She's fun to talk to. She's great as a guest. She's very talkative. So, it makes it all fun. So maybe we'll do that too. I definitely want to start doing it at nighttime as well. You're doing good, Saved. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Got weekend plans coming up. Oh, get my face focused. There we go. Weekend plans. This weekend is Pokemon Go Fest, and I know that because my girlfriend is a big Pokemon Go player, so she's going to be doing that this weekend. That's going to be tomorrow. She's going to be gone pretty much all day playing Pokemon Go. So there's a chance that I might stream tomorrow in the afternoon if I'm so inclined to. Depends on how I feel. Depends on what's going on with my day. Best way to know if I'm going to go live is make sure you subscribe to me wherever you're watching me. If you're watching me on PeerTube, make sure you follow and subscribe to me. If you're watching me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you know that when I'm going live. Same thing for Twitch. But if you really want to know, make sure you follow me on Mastodon. I always alert people when I'm going live on Mastodon. As soon as Meta decides to start using the ActivityPub protocol for Threads, which they've claimed they're going to do, but haven't yet. I'm suspect about that. Then you'll be able to follow me at Mastodon from Threads as well. So that'll be fun. So yeah, taking my dog out, waking up this morning, all this other stuff. Oh, and I took my injections. I started taking my my psoriasis injections again. My nails, I want them to get back to normal. I hate having these nails. So if you don't know what psoriasis is, it's an immunity issue. It's basically my immune system is attacking my skin cells, right? So I have to take these injections to stop my immune system from attacking my skin cells. Because what happens is that I get an abundance of skin cells that start to build up. And they start getting hard and kind of blackish. And I maybe have a little bit right here. No, you really can't see it right there. But it gets big and blackish. And it used to cover a large percentage of my body. Like I used to have like patches on my knees, just of this plaque psoriasis on there. And both my knees, on my elbows, my forearms, on like more than 75% of my back. I used to have it on my face. It used to be underneath my eyes, on my cheeks, my forehead, my skull. You know, all these flakes coming off on me. And so a couple of years ago, probably I think about 4 or 5 years ago, I started taking injections. And it cleared me up. It was great. And I've loved it. But I had knee surgery, knee replacement surgery a couple of weeks ago. And I had to stop taking the injections because they can cause infection, basically, like make you susceptible to infection. So I had to stop taking it for a couple of months. And my psoriasis started coming back. But the way it started coming back the worst was on my fingernails. And if you're squeamish and you don't want to see this, look away. But I'll show you kind of like what's happening. So you see, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see my nails. See how it looks like? See all that white there? Well, that's because my nails are bent up. There's psoriasis. The skin is plaqued up underneath. And you can really see it. Like this one is the worst one. But see this finger right here. But you can see how it's raising the bed of nails. Now, there's no infections. There's nothing disgusting about this. It's literally just the skin underneath that's pushing my nails up. So it's making them kind of like ramp upward. If you look from the side, you can kind of see it a little bit more. Right, so that one's the worst. It's a lot underneath there, but you can see it's also like my thumb. Again, you can see it there. And really, it's only connected. My nails are really only connected on the back, you know, like up here. So I have to be very careful with my nails because I can literally rip them in half. I can tear them off my hands. Oh, but I hate it. So I took my second set of injections today. I take them every 2 weeks. Took some 2 weeks ago. Finally back on it. Took some today. Finally, you know, back on. In fact, here it is. This is my injections from earlier. You know, Cimzia is what I'm taking right now. I just took this. That's why I was late for starting the stream today, because I was taking this. I had to inject myself, and which is, you know, kind of like one of those things. You get used to it after a while. You have to. The trick is, because I have to keep them refrigerated, I let them thaw out for like 5-10 minutes, and then I do the injections. And it's not so bad. It's, you know, it's giving yourself injections. It's not horrible. But at the same time, it's like sometimes if you don't let the medicine warm up a little bit, that cold medicine goes in, just stings like a bitch. So I had to take that today. So I'm happy for that. It also has side effect of helping me with my joints. So I have you know, issues with with arthritis as well. So I had the left knee replaced. Luckily, things like this help actually have a side effect of helping with joint pain and so especially with arthritic pain. So that's kind of cool. So it kind of helps me twice as much there. So yeah, took that today. Took the dog out. This is only like this, I want to say the second time I've been home alone since third time I've been home alone since knee replacement surgery. And then only the second time I've taken the dog out to go to the bathroom myself, because going up and down stairs is kind of like a trial, right? But I made it. How about you? Do you have anything, any kind of, do you have to take any kind of injections? Do you have anything that you have to do every couple of weeks to keep your health going? You know anybody that does? Let us know in the chat. And also, if you want to come on and be a guest, well, I put that link in my Mastodon, last post on Mastodon. You can go find it there, or you can go find it in the Discord. And if you're not on Mastodon following me, or if you're not on in my Discord, what is wrong with you? Should definitely go check those places out. You can find the links, I think, on both YouTube and Twitch. If not, you can go to MrFunkyDude.com down there, and you can find it through my social links. So that's what's going on around here. That's what's happening in my neck of the woods. Got nothing planned for the weekend. Might live stream. Actually, I have a vacuum cleaner that I need to try to figure out what's going on with it. It's like an old school type of, hey, what's up, Johnny? It's an old school type of vacuum cleaner, you know, the hypoallergenic one. But it's like the push kind, you know. And a couple weeks ago, the brush on the bottom of it stopped spinning. So I took it apart, and I found out that one of the what do you call it? You know, where it turns on the sides, right? Was clogged, basically, on the brush itself. It couldn't make that turn freely because it was just like a ton of hair that was just clogged in it, wrapped around it. So I had to literally take a knife and just cut all the hair, you know, off of the side of the brush. And then I got working, and it was moving, and everything was working fine. It worked fine for a couple of weeks. Then the last time we used it, about halfway through vacuuming, it stopped going again. The brush stopped going. So I got to pop that open, see what's wrong with it, because it can't be that it's clogged again with hair. There's no way. So either the motor burned out or was burning out, and so it's stopped, you know, moving because the brush was being held still before, or something else going on. I don't know what it is. But I got to take a part of it. I got to take it apart and find out what's going on. Johnny says, hi, I'm not driving. Good to see you guys. Johnny, how you doing? Hey, Johnny, what are you doing, man? I got to hear, I want you to get on here and be a guest soon, because I want to hear your tale about the flood. Did you guys get flooded during all that rain? It's got to be a great story. What was it like for you? Did you, was it just like rivers outside of your house or something like that? Like both Tam and I were wondering. You didn't tell me the story. When I asked you, you said, oh my God, it's crazy, but you didn't tell me anything. So like Tam and I are both dying to know. But I'm glad you're here, Johnny. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, of course. Always good to have people here. Johnny says, yeah, it was crazy. Lots of water. Oh, your house is at the top of the street. Okay, so you didn't get flooded then. That's good. Could you go anywhere, though? I mean, what were the roads like? Because I saw videos where it looks like some of the roads in Palm Springs, and I know you're not in Palm Springs, but I mean, you're pretty close, right? Like some of the desert cities are just getting like manhandled. I don't know how to say it. Johnny says water flows left and right, spitting down the middle of my yard. Oh, wow. Yeah, pretty damn close. Yeah. Palm Springs pretty damn close, yeah. Yeah, so you guys had to be getting Tons of water. So you had like a little river in your front lawn. Johnny says we were advised not travel. I'd imagine that. It was nothing here. It was like just another rainy day. It was like I've experienced much worse. It just totally passed over us. Johnny says our power was out for 10 hours. Holy crap. Oh my God. So what do? You have no power for 10 hours. I mean, were you still able to get like cell tower connections and all of that? Johnny says I can hop on for a bit. Oh, feel free to. I believe the link is still in the public chat in the Discord. You might have to scroll up for it. Let me see. Actually, I'll just post it again. Just give me a second. I'll post it in the public chat. There we go. In case you're looking for it. But feel free to hop on and talk about it anytime you want. That's crazy. I was expecting more here, but then I woke up in the morning, I saw like where it seemed to be headed. It seemed like once it hit the coast of California, or the Gulf Coast, it just kind of like veered towards the desert. Like it looked like it was running right to you, man. Joey says, okay, I'll be there in a few minutes. I'm just peeling eggs for egg salad. Ooh, I haven't had a good egg salad in a long time. There's like, here's the thing with egg salad. Sometimes my problem with egg salad is people make it too much mayo in it, right? And it becomes this gooey kind of, it tastes more like mayo than it does egg, even though mayo is like basically egg paste. That's what mayonnaise is. It's egg paste. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not a big fan, but but like I like a good egg salad sandwich. But every time someone makes one, it just seems like it's always too like either wet or too gooey. Like there needs to be some firmness to it, not like I'm not talking like, what do you call like we're not talking like cheesecake firmness, but there's got to be a little bit of a bite to it. Otherwise, it just feels like you're eating mush and you're squishing mush in your mouth. I hate that feeling. No good. Not good at all. Okay, well, Johnny's gonna do his thing. Let me take a quick break, you guys. I gotta fill up my water container. I'm getting thirsty. Give me 2 minutes and I'm gonna be right back. Hang in there. Hit the wrong button. Wrong button there. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, people left. Oh, people always leave. Sometimes I gotta get water, people. You gotta bear with me. I'm a thirsty boy. Gotta have my water sometimes, you know? But as always, I want to know what's going on with you. How are you doing? What's going on in your lives? Let me know. Let me know in the chat, or if you're privy to the Discord or my Mastodon, you have links where you can call in as a guest. And if you want to talk about something, talk about it. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. If you want to show your beautiful face, you can do that too. We just want to hear you. If you feel to call in, let us know anytime. Oh, my camera keeps going out of focus in my face for some reason. It's bugging me. Stop doing it. Stop. Stop. It's going to be a hot weekend. I think it's going to be like 80-something tomorrow. Why do I have 2 emails? Oh, I don't. Only 1 email. Why did it say I had 2? Weird. Oh, saved. Thank you for the subscription. Really appreciate it. Very nice of you, DJ Smokey. When are you going to address the allegations? DJ Smokey? That's a great question. I think now is the time to address the allegations that have been made against me. Here they are. First off, the first allegation is that I'm too nice to people. I'm too kind. I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I treat them like humans, no matter what their race, no matter what their ethnicity, no matter where they come from, no matter what their religion. I treat them with kindness. And I treat them with respect. That is true. I know that goes against the day and how people live their lives, but damn it, that's what I'm going to do. Now, as for the next allegation, yes, those were my feet in the pictures. But no, the banana is not for sale. Let's make that part clear. The banana is not for smell, Smokey. Smell? Not for sale. Not for sale. You can't sell it and you can't smell it. Now, for the last allegation, third and final allegation that was made against me, I just want to state for the record. For the record. No. Thank you. And that's all I have to say about it. If you have any more questions, I will refer you to my lawyer, Miss Kitty Bottom. Thank you. That's all I have to say about that, Smokey. I hope we can lay all the controversy to rest now. Thank you. Glad finally someone brought it up. Couldn't live with it anymore. It's just too much. Johnny is here. Hold on, Johnny. I'm going to bring you in just a second. Just noticed you there. Can't hear you, though. I don't know if you're saying anything or what have you, but we can bring you up.
Check 1 2 1 2 check.
Here you
check,
are.
check.
Now I hear you. Okay. Hey, Johnny. How you doing today? What was it like with the flood? I'm dying to hear about it. Tell me the story.
So, stage 4 Hurricane Hillary coming your way, right? Huge
Right.
120 mile an hour winds off the coast of Baja. Get ready, buy all your supplies. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. You know, in my gut, I told my wife this days before. I'm like, I just don't feel that threatened by this thing. I mean, we do live in a big dust bowl and we don't get a lot of weather. So I
Yeah.
just had this sense of security where, oh, the heat barrier will protect us. And so, in the meantime, I'm checking live streams from Baja, California around the time
Right.
it's supposed to hit. And I couldn't really find anything decent. And I'm just tracking it, you know, it's like
Yeah.
knowing a big
I was doing the
earthquake's
same
coming,
thing.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
And in the past, our house is literally, we live on a curved street, but our house is on the highest peak, which is pretty lucky. So
Right.
our front yard in the middle, you see the rain or the water split in half. So my left side of my yard, the water flows left, right side flows right. And so we're really lucky in that regard. We're not going to get a lot of pooling in the front yard. But at the end of the street, where there's the drain and the main gutters and the streets are level, it pulls up quite a bit. In fact, the neighbor down the road had water like all the way up to her front door.
Ooh.
And I mean, she said waist high. She might have been exaggerating. She tends to
Right.
exaggerate, but it was a big
Ugh.
deal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of zooming out to the whole valley, we have a main drainage system, kind of like a riverbed in Orange County. We have a
Yeah.
main draining system that goes through a lot of golf courses. But near my parents' house, where the high school is, there's a wash, and that there's pictures of it, and it's just they use the cement barricades to direct the water, and it's just rushing. It's just like a raging river running
I
through.
think that was the I saw a video of that. I think I don't know if
It's
it
a
was your area,
possibility.
but it was like somewhere in the desert, somewhere around your area near Palm
Yeah.
Springs, where it was a like a reservoir or something that was, or like an inlet or an outlet that was
Uh-huh.
just had like a raging river of water just like rushing through.
Yeah. So let me see. I can share my screen if you want.
Sure. One second. Replace it with. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I just saw the share screen
There
option
we
down
go. Okay,
below.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You
So
go. There we
here's,
got it. There we
I don't
got
know
it
if
now.
this is the picture that looked familiar, but this is just the typical curved road. La Quinta High School is on the left side here. So we have the main road behind these guys, Highway 111, and this is insane. Like the amount of water that came
That is
through it was just
crazy.
incredible. Like it's unreal. Like I don't know if this picture does it justice, but this is a lot of water rushing through the
That is a
valley.
lot of water rushing through there, man. I can see
I
it.
know.
That's
So,
insane. That looks like
I
a it looks like a dam broke somewhere and it's like heading towards you.
I know. So, what was weird is it started raining. Let me see. I'm just gonna go through this thing. It started raining for 2 or 3 hours, and the night before our power went out, so it was hot and humid. There was barely any breeze.
Right.
I had to sleep like next to the window on the couch just to getting a tiny little breeze. I was able to get just a couple hours of sleep, so I was exhausted.
Sure, I imagine.
So the day of, it's raining, and it's raining for quite a few hours, and then it started to let up, and I go, oh, that was it. And then so I took maybe an hour or two nap, and my wife comes in, wakes me up because she doesn't really like the wind or heavy weather like that. It kind of freaks
Right.
her out.
Right.
And I look in the backyard, and the rain is just getting thrown sideways towards our back window. It
That's
is
crazy.
how it's super windy and super rainy. I thought it was over with. It was just the beginning.
Ooh, no.
And it got crazy. I went outside for a little bit, just to see what it felt like in an extreme rain like that, because in the desert we don't get that very often. So it was
Right.
kind of cool. But as far as how much damage or how many homes or this or that, so here's a good picture. I'm not really sure about the total damage, but I just know that we had closure for maybe a day or two, but it
Yeah.
dried up so quickly. But I
Well,
know
you're in
there
the
was a lot of
desert, I would hope
damage.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. What's a fun fact about the desert, I heard that the dirt doesn't really absorb the water well, like
Yeah.
in areas that do receive moisture more often, which is interesting to think about. You'd think that wouldn't be the case, but
Yeah, it
no.
doesn't. It's because of the dried impact of the soil, and because of like sometimes it's like the minerals that are underneath it don't allow it for it to like absorb. I've heard
That
that
makes
before.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we did a lot of preparation once it started raining. We've got a giant tree in the front, which was dropping leaves like crazy because it's hot. So I went out in the gutter and picked up a few chunks of leaves that were causing some clogs. We're in the backyard, and there's a just a huge waterfall falling off of our gutter. And I
Wow.
go, that's not right. Something's not right. I get the
That's
ladder.
not right.
I
Yeah.
go up there and there's a dog toy ball stuck in the drainage hole. So I
Oh
plucked that
no.
out. I'm like, okay, here, there we go. Now the water's flowing. A bunch of big old Lego blocks start flowing out of the other side because my son's shoving toys and shit in there. It was,
How did he take the rain and everything? How did your little boy take everything that
oh
was
God, he's
happening?
so chill. He didn't even care. He's just
Yeah.
watching TV. The
It
day
was like
after,
whatever.
yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
So it was 1:30 in the morning the night before when it started because it started sprinkling late night or early morning, I should say. And I was on the computer playing games, and the power surge just went bzz, off,
Really. Just like zzz, out.
10 seconds, back on. I'm like, oh great, here we go.
Uh oh, something's gonna happen.
Happens again. At this point in time, I already grabbed the flashlight. I was ready for it. Happened again. Came back on for 10 seconds. While this was happening, though, I hear like a big ol' bzzz, like electricity noise not too far from the distance.
Yeah, like zzz, zzz,
Yeah,
like that. Oh,
uh-huh.
that's a power. I know what that sound is.
That's like the transformer getting shorted
Yeah,
out or
that's the
something.
transformer getting shorted out. Yep.
Yeah. So the third time, it didn't come back for 10 hours. So that
Hmm.
was unfortunate.
What did you do in that
Couple,
10 hours? You don't have any electricity. Where your phone charged? Could you still get
yeah,
cell signal? Because for me,
yep.
if I lose electricity and I still have a full charge on my phone and I can still get cell tower signal, I'm kind of okay.
Yeah, yep. All the electronic devices were being fully charged in case of emergency, like they told you to do.
Right.
So my phone was a hotspot for my iPad, so I got to, chill on the couch, watch my iPad for do
Right.
whatever. I found these storm chasers that were chasing the storm live, and when I started watching, they were chasing it down the Salton Sea. They went down the I-10 past my neck of the woods all the way to Banning. So that was kind of cool. I got to kind of see some guys chasing it out from a outside perspective.
Yeah.
But what's weird is that the power went out just in my neighborhood, and not even my whole neighborhood, like just my street.
That's
We,
crazy.
we were so unlucky. We were the only power outage in the
Oh
desert
no.
for several hours, and then I started checking the map for Edison,
Right.
and more popped up, but we were one of the few people that actually had power outages, so
That
that
is
was very
crazy.
unlucky. Yeah, very
Yeah.
unlucky. I've got an elderly couple that lives across the street, and our power had come back on,
Right.
and we're friends with the children who own the home of the older couple across the street, and they text and they go, "Is your power still on? Or is your power still out?"
Stuff
We go,
still
"No,
running.
no, it's on. It's been on for like, 12 hours." They go, "Oh, because across the street, their power is still out." I'm
Oh
like,
no.
"What?" And so the next door neighbor went over there on the panel and started flipping some breakers.
Right.
And I told him, I'm like, I mean, I can go flip breakers, but if someone's already done it, like, what am I don't know what else to do. I'm not an electrician. So
Right.
they wanted me to go over there anyway. And their panel is from the 1960s. I have never seen an electrical panel so old. The uh, the main 100 amp breaker, I usually you get a click when you flip these switches. It clicks up, clicks down. This was so mushy, and I had to like force it. So I forced it down, forced it back up. It almost felt like it got connected by a magnetic force, but it's very
Right.
unsafe, these old panels.
Sure. Yeah.
And what do you know? Their electricity came back on. I saved the day. And I go, okay, well, make sure here's all I care about is your refrigerator and your air conditioning. If those two
Yeah.
things are working, you'll be good
Be
until,
good.
you
Yeah.
know, the professionals come in. So their air conditioning did not come on. Everything else came on except for their AC. Now, it wasn't quite hot yet, but then the
Yeah.
day after, they were out of power for 2 days, out of no AC for 3 days.
Ooh, in the desert?
So
No.
what and it's at the end of August, so it's getting upwards of 100 degrees very quickly. So I was kind of the middleman between the electric company, not the utility company, but an electrician. And they were saying, "Oh, you know what? Go jump on the panels and flip the breakers on the roof on the disconnect from the AC and the panel again, because a lot of clients are calling and they're having the same problem.
Right.
And since it had a day of sun, it's drying out now. So most of the time it'll just flip back on." So I'm like, okay, I'll go do that. This would be the second time I got my ladder over there and climbed up on their roof, flipped the breakers, no luck. So I was on the phone. I'm like, This is an emergency. Like, we need to get someone out here ASAP. Like, I'm not going to call the owner. I'll just text them. You call them and get this set up because it's going to get real hot real fast." And sure enough, they replaced the disconnect and the breaker, and their AC came back on. So that was cool.
That's cool.
And then
Well,
my
so they were saved from that for sure.
yeah, yeah, I was the catalyst on expediting their electricity or their AC getting back on, because it was weird to me. I'm like, why aren't they helping themselves, and why aren't the homeowners doing this? Why? I don't mind
Right.
doing it. I'm so close, but like, you guys need to get to it, man. They got three pets inside. Like, what are we waiting on? Jeez, it
You're the
was
nice
crazy
guy
to
at the
me.
block. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for
I
the
guess.
nice guy at the block to come help them.
Yeah, I don't charge, so maybe you're
Maybe you
right.
should have.
I know. Then, so I have another elderly neighbor next door. She goes, "Johnny, my car won't start. Do you mind jumping it?" I'm all, "Yeah, no problem. I mean, I'll super easy. I got cables in my trunk. Let's do it." So I get her jumped, and I had to do it twice. I did it one day, and then yesterday morning she needed another jump to go to the dealership to get a new battery. And so I saw her later that day. She said, "I appreciated your help so much. I called my gardener over. He's going to come over and pick up all your leaves in your front yard tomorrow morning," which was today.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
nice.
"Sweet, man. That's awesome. You didn't have to do that, but thank you." So those are my good deed stories.
That's good. You're helping
Nothing.
people out. Had a
Yeah.
disaster. You weathered through it. You weathered through the weather.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
helped your neighbors out. Good for you, Johnny. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know, what's funny is the last power outage is when we met our one of our neighbors across the street. You know, people just keep to themselves these days, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
it takes an emergency to bring people together. It really does. And so we
yeah.
we ended up talking to a new neighbor that we'd never really got to know while the power was out too, bonded with him. And
Right.
so, yeah, it does. Some of these bad experiences, they tend to bring the community together, which is a nice end of the
Well,
story.
and you have to be open to that as well.
Yeah, that's
That's the
true.
great thing.
That's
And
true.
you definitely were. And I can see from the pictures there, man, that's crazy. And now here in California, like people here, as you know, because you used to live here, people here freak out over any little weather change,
Right.
and so you were getting all this hype, coming into us about how there's going to be this big weather, how there's going to be this storm coming in. And I'm watching the trajectory of the storm like the day before. And I'm telling Tam, I don't think it's going to be anything here. I think it's going to hit through the desert. And so she wasn't really worried about it. I wasn't worried about it, but she had gone to Costco, the day before the storm. And she just came back and she goes, "It's madness. It's
It is.
madness. Everybody's
Uh-huh.
acting like, their houses are going to fall down, or, like all the toilet paper is gone, all the water is gone, Everybody's stocking up. She goes, there were a line at Costco's that were going halfway back to the store. And she goes, I just had to get out of there. I said, I don't blame you, but this is just people panicking.
Yeah, and it's not their fault.
Yeah, no.
It's the news that they watch that
Yeah, if
told
it's
them
all
that
they know, of
the end of the
course they're going
world's
to act that
coming.
way. Yeah.
And you don't know. I mean, you're only guessing, you're only estimating. You saw the different trajectories, different models
Yeah.
that they had. They're like, oh, it may go here, 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 but here's the majority of the models. They're going here. But they knew it was going to at least get downgraded from a
Right.
category 4. And it
Right.
happened quickly before it even got close to Baja. I think it was already down to a 2.
Yeah.
And
Once it hits land, it's going to start depleting.
yeah.
It's going to start going down because it needs that. What is it? It needs a low, like, what was it called? It needs like the heat to come from underneath to push up, kind of like thing. And the more it goes across the land, the less it gets of that, or something like that. So it starts kind of like running out of energy as it hits the land.
Yeah. I don't know. I heard the words convection and low pressure, high pressure being
Yeah,
thrown
yeah, yeah.
around. I'm not a weather expert, but it just makes me think, is there a better way to communicate to the public about how to be prepared for the storm? I don't know if there
Who
really is, to
knows?
be honest with you, but it did cause a lot
Yeah.
of panic. It was the same out here. A lot of people
I
grocery
think people are
shopping.
gonna, as long as you're not out there going, "Oh my God, run to the hills! It's gonna rain." People are gonna like react however they think they need to react, and I think no matter how you tell them, for the most part, you can, like say to them, "Okay, look, the storm is coming. We expect this. We expect that. Make sure that you do this. Make sure you do that." You can be calm. You can say, it might take out some roads. Some roads might be closed. Some people might lose electricity, but hang in there. You're going to be okay. That kind of thing. People are still going to freak out.
Yeah.
There's going to be a subset of the population that's just going to, what? No! Because they're really not paying attention. They're listening, but they're not paying attention.
Yeah, and I'm glad that people are prepared because you really don't know. Like
Yeah.
Wolf says, you don't know whether or not you're gonna get it. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
they call
called
it
weather
weather.
because you don't know whether you're going to get it or not.
So true, so true.
Yeah, that is very true. Well, yeah, that's awesome that you made it through. And now here's the big question: did it affect your bread delivery side
You
hustle?
know, yeah, of course I couldn't deliver. It's
What?
funny. It's funny. Bread slowed down a lot. I haven't really been pushing it either. I kind of,
Yeah,
got a little burnt out on it. It's super hot. I don't really want to have the ovens roaring at 500.
I bake a lot less during the summer.
Yeah, it's too damn hot to be baking, man.
Yeah,
I mean, in the winter, it's perfect. You don't have to put on your heater.
that or I have to do it like early in the morning. I have to get up at like started at like 7 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, and then I can be done by like before the heat really hits. Because I can bake something like I can bake your average, like if I'm doing yeasted, I can bake bread in like 4 hours. If I'm doing sourdough, it'll take like a little longer than that. But you maybe about 5 hours. But I can usually get it done before like 12 or 1 o'clock before the heat really starts hitting.
Yeah, I've had um, some bouts of really wacky sleep where I'd only sleep maybe 4 hours or so. And there was quite a few days where I woke up before the sun came up and just started baking and was
Yeah.
done before the sun rose. I mean, because hot here and hot there, they're two different
Oh,
things.
yeah, I
And
know, man. The heat there is
it's,
ridiculous.
yeah, so again, that's why I've kind of slowed down. But funny today, my bread delivery, I delivered 3 loaves yesterday, two to one person. And they got one regular, one date, and pecan. I started doing pecans instead of walnuts just because
Yeah.
I ran out of walnuts. But she texted me, "You delivered me 2 regulars, and I ordered." It was real nasty text, like, "Come back and pick
Right.
this up and bring me the bread that I ordered." And I'm like, "Huh, okay. Well, I know 100% sure that you have one of each." So I texted her a nice message back. I'm like, "Oh, are you sure you want to double check, cut into it, and let me know?" And she's like, well, both of the labels say sourdough, so I just assumed that they were both sourdough, and I didn't say anything.
It's all
But
sourdough, honey.
she apologized afterwards because I didn't give her the wrong bread. She got the right stuff. But when you deal with the public like this is
They
this is
pop
one of the
off,
few
yeah.
times that this type of things happen to me. But people they get so outraged about
Yeah.
things, and I don't want to be caught in the middle of it some days. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know
Like,
why I think that is?
no,
Okay, so I think the reason, and I think that this is a reason, like even why you see so many like Karens and Cals or whatever you want to call them, out there is because people are looking for some semblance of control over their lives. And the more they get lost in the day to day regimen of life itself, or they get caught up in what's going on in the news, or they get caught up in what's going on with their family, their friends, or what have you, they feel somewhat of a lack of control. And when these certain people, they start feeling that lack of control in their lives, they start taking every opportunity to vent their frustration, whether they
yeah,
realize it or not. So like for this woman that was saying this, I imagine that she probably, had a week where she felt a little out of control, where she felt like things weren't going the way she wanted it to, or something like that. And then this happens and she thinks there's immediately something wrong, but she feels like she can do something about this. She can complain, right? So
yeah,
she writes you and complains, doesn't bother to fact check herself, doesn't bother to see if she's right, or doesn't even bother to cut the bread to make sure she got the right one. Nope, it's a complaint because that's the control that she has. So I'm sure she felt really like let down almost when she realized that she was the one that made the mistake. And I'm glad she apologized and everything, but you're lucky because I don't think most people would apologize.
yeah,
They would just
yeah.
like double down on their anger.
I know. But so here's the funny thing where I thought about you. She goes, "Oh, I cut into your bread and both of them are so delicious. Thank you so much." And she says, "I live in Long Beach. Do you now what she said, do you have any contacts in Long Beach?" I'm like, "Contacts?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm driving back to Long Beach and I want to have your bread there or something." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want me to do about that?" I go, that was in my mind. I responded, "Well, I have a friend who's a home baker in Irvine."
Long
I,
Beach is a little
he,
far, but
I know. I looked it up. It's like
I don't
40
know if I'd
minutes.
deliver a
I
loaf of bread in
know.
from the Long Beach.
And then I Googled like bread bakery Long Beach and I saw this amazing bakery that looked like they made incredible loaves, but I'm just going to let her find that for herself. What I did say is, "Oh, you could always freeze my loaves." And she goes, "I could." So, yeah, that was the end of that was how I smoothed that one out.
Yeah, well,
But
that's good.
I took screenshots of that thread and sent it to my wife and my mom. We were talking about another something else. I'm like, "Oh yeah, get a load of this thread," just to let them in on
Yeah, look
the
at what happened
fun.
here.
I'm gonna post it on social media. Look at this, Karen.
Yeah.
Make a video about it. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, get paid.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm glad you weathered through it all, and I'm glad everything is fine. Your house didn't get washed out, or anything like that. That's great. And I get that I get the whole thing about like I've been wanting to make bread for like a week now, and I haven't gotten to it because it's been too hot each day. And I know it's hotter for you out there, so I can imagine you wouldn't want to make any bread as well. I probably wouldn't until it started hitting, at least fall at some point.
Yeah, you know what? You probably have a vent fan above your stove, right? Above the oven.
Yeah, well, we have above it, we have a microwave, and the microwave has a vent fan, and it just
Yeah,
like
so
filters out the stuff. Yeah.
I turn that baby on full blast, and then I get a floor fan, and I blast it at an angle, like so it's getting the top of the oven
Mm,
up and to kind of vent out the heat a little bit more efficiently.
yeah.
And then I have a potato sack dish towel type of material. I don't know, maybe not potato sack. What do they call it? Like a cheesecloth type of
Right.
material.
Okay.
And I soak that and I lay it across the top corner of the stove to add like an evaporative cooling effect too. And
Right.
so these are little couple little tricks that I do to mitigate the maximum heat coming out of that baby.
Hey, I got a question for you, Johnny. When you make your
Yeah.
loaves, do you use a poolish?
No, just a traditional starter. I haven't done a poolish yet. I've
Yeah,
seen
I think I'm
videos
gonna
about.
start trying that next time because I've been watching videos about it, and they just everyone insists about how much it like changes the flavor. It just it makes it a little more sour, makes it a little more bready flavor, whatever that
Yeah.
is. So I'm like dying to try that. I just wondered if you had tried it yet.
Well, I saw a guy that did his pizza dough that way. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
that's popular with pizza doughs. Yeah, because it
I'll
brings
try
out
it
that
one
bread
day.
flavor into the dough.
Do you remember what the process is for the poolish? I
So
mean,
yeah, so the poolish is if I believe it's like you're taking basically I think about a quarter of your flour and your water and salt, and you mix it separately the night before, and you set that out. It's just the flour and the water and the salt. You set it out, and no, I'm sorry. It got some yeast in it too. So you let it get. It almost becomes like a little starter, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And then what you do is then you go to you add that to your flour and everything else, and it's supposed it's supposed to be basically like you're making. I mean, the way I understand it, it's like you're making a giant levain, which
Okay.
is like you have your starter, and then you take a portion of your starter the night before, and you let that ferment overnight, and then you add that to your dough. That's usually how you do your sourdough. In this case, though, that levain is larger, so it's
Okay.
like it adds more flavor, and it's supposed to add more flavor to the rest of your dough when you add it. So it's like giving it a head start. It's like giving it a huge head start,
Right, right.
and it's because of the fermentation is longer,
Okay.
that it creates more of that yeasty kind of flavor,
That does
that you
sound
get in there.
familiar. Because when I saw a video about it, I'm like, oh, so it's just a bunch of starter? Oh, okay, cool. I can do
Yeah, it's
that.
basically what it is you're making a giant levain,
Yeah.
and then you just add that later on.
My last batch of bread, I put in starter that was a little bit too cooked, I guess you could say, and I just didn't get the rise that I normally look for, but I just said, ah, screw it, I'm delivering this bread anyway.
Right.
It's not my best, most picture perfect bread, but I've had it, still tastes good, so they didn't say
Right.
anything. They don't care.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, Jam Pants? Someone says, "What is this about?" We're just talking. Welcome to my live stream. The live stream is about, the things that we all enjoy doing, the things that we love in our life. It's also about if you need any advice, feel free to ask. If you're feeling down, you need some encouragement, let us know. We can more than happily bring you back up. Right now, Johnny is talking about, we're talking bread, basically. Johnny and I are both bread makers. We like to bake bread and we like to do things. So we're kind of talking a little shop right now, but we could talk about a lot of different things. DJ Smokey has an interesting thing. Earlier, he wanted to know if I was going to ever answer the allegations against me, and I did. I think you missed it, GJ. What's this? He says the screenshot clearly shows you're trying to flog the Caviar King Charles Spaniel that was stolen from the park. So the question is, if you didn't take the dog, who did, or are you just the one selling it? I think you got the wrong person, DJ. I'm the guy with the feet pics and the banana. I'll just leave it at that. I can understand if you're a little confused. But thanks for playing, DJ. I answered the allegations earlier. I'm sorry that you didn't bother to stick around to hear them. But apparently it was the wrong allegations anyway. All I'll say is talk to my lawyer, Miss Kitty Bottom. Thank you. So
I don't know what reference he's referring to be honest
it,
with you.
he posted something earlier, like an hour ago, and then he comes back to check. Like so stupid. He posted like something in the chat, just wondering when I was going to respond to the allegations against me. So I responded in true Mr. Funky Dude fashion, if you can imagine.
So I'm looking at on the news, and in Perth, Australia, there was thefts caught on camera stealing Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, Charlie and Harry. I don't know. They're wearing masks, so how I don't know. I don't see any resemblance to you, but
Oh, thank goodness. The
yeah.
disguise worked. I
Yeah.
mean, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh, people are funny.
People are weird more than anything else. Stealing dogs. Yeah, people still do that. That's amazes me. Like dog theft is a thing. That's like one. It's almost like I kind of think it as dog nappers as one step below kidnappers. It's just they don't have the balls to take your kid, so they'll take your dog.
Is that the
You
gateway
know?
drug?
Yeah, right. It's dogs are the kidnapping gateway drug. It's absolutely right.
Scary.
DJ realizes, oh, right, wait, wrong channel. That's what I'm telling you, DJ. Got the wrong guy. I'm the guy with the banana and the feet pics. I won't go into any more detail. Talk to my lawyer. But yeah. So, what do you got planned for this weekend, Johnny? Anything happening? You got any?
Well, I pulled the trigger on Baldur's Gate 3, so I'm gonna be
Yeah,
super
Rachel got that
busy.
game.
I'm gonna be super busy next couple months. No.
Have you started it at all?
Yeah, I started it. Maybe a few hours into it. I
Rachel tells
started.
me she started playing it like a week ago. I
Okay.
think a week or whenever, like a couple of days after it came out.
Yeah.
And she says that she regrets that she didn't do the one thing that everybody told her to do,
Which is.
which was that don't rush your character creation.
Oh, okay.
Because like what people are doing, as she says, is a lot of people are rushing to create their character and then realizing shortly into the game that that's not what they wanted.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Well, I learned today that there's a dude called the. Uh, I don't remember. It starts with a W maybe, but you can respec and change your class at some point. But
yeah,
it's
but
funny. It's funny that you mentioned that because I turned on the game, went to the character creation, saw how vastly complicated it was, and then I turned it off and watched some videos and came back to it later to finish my character creation because I was just like, it's too much to
yeah,
take in, you know. I've never
right.
played D&D. I don't, I know super basic concepts about it. I've always
Yeah.
been interested. I could see the allure. It looks like a fun time, but
Yeah.
I've never got into it.
Yeah, I used to play D&D when I was a lot younger, but I've never gotten into the like. I'm not really into those type of games on
Me either.
video games. You know, like if play want to play D&D live, that's fun. I used to enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But like the game itself, like video games, those kind of dungeon crawlers kind of thing where you have to, get this sword so you can, amp up this other player's specs so that you can, go through this place to kill these people. And those games never really like. I was never really into what was the big RPG when it first came out. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. The only one I've ever been able to get into, like a role playing game that I ever got into, was a game called City of Heroes.
Oh, I remember you
Yeah,
talking about that. Were you
yeah.
trying to think of World of Warcraft, like
World of
Wizards?
Warcraft. That's what I
Oh,
was trying
okay.
to think of too. Yeah, those types of games I could never, really get into, or you have to boost the stats of this so that you can do this. I did it for a while when I played City of Heroes, but it wasn't as involved as like other games have been.
I know.
You know.
I'm kind of glutton for punishment with certain things. I got into Black Desert, super complicated. I played Final Fantasy 14 online for a little bit. The subscription was what kind of killed me because if you're not playing but you're still paying $15 a month, it's kind of painful. Um, New World, I got New World on sale, the summer sale. I put about 100 hours into that game. It's pretty fun. I do like complicated games. I do like deep, complicated games that has a lot of replay value for me. But on the other hand,
Sure.
I do appreciate the simple games where you can jump in, shoot things, and get out, you
Well,
know?
for me, there's a difference between complicated and tedious.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
yeah.
Like I don't mind if it's a complicated game and the system makes sense and the system is you have to do this to do that. I don't mind those kind of things. If you want to get to this area, you have to have this sword or whatever. I don't mind that, but when it becomes tedious, when it's like, oh, you have to get the sword. Before you can get the sword, though, you have to get this leather strap so that you can put it on the sword so you can do this. But to anoint the leather strap, you have to go into this stream. So, it's just like, I want to fucking use the sword. I don't want to have to get all this accompanying shit to put onto the sword so that I can use it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think Black Desert was one of them. I think I watched more videos on how to play Black Desert than actually playing Black Desert
Oh, that's
because
horrible.
it's so complicated.
Right.
There's so much to it. And same with
That's
New World, there's a lot of shit to it. And I think with Baldur's Gate 3, there's a lot of shit to it. But I decided I'm just gonna play through it. I'm gonna make mistakes.
have
Whatever.
fun
Who
with it.
cares?
Yeah.
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 So
Absolutely.
so far it's pretty damn cool. You're a prisoner, you get sick, and then you have to go find a healer to help you. And along the way, you get parties of different characters. And
Right.
again, I've never been into D&D, but it's a relaxing type of game where there's a lot of storytelling and just chilling.
Good.
It's not like Apex Legends or Overwatch or something like that where you
Yeah.
gotta
I haven't played
be on top of your
Overwatch. I
game.
stopped playing Overwatch like 2 years ago.
I recently started Overwatch 2 just because I just wanted to try it, see it for
Yeah.
fun. I hear it's funny. It's the most negatively reviewed game on Steam right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, but I don't know. It's not
Like
terrible.
they're the knockoff Paladins has better reviews, I think, right now on Steam than Overwatch
Yeah. Goes to
or
show you
Overwatch 2,
how
I should say.
how large and passionate the gaming community is, especially in Steam. Like,
Yeah.
I guess Activision and Blizzard are buddies now, and
Oh yeah, but what's happening is that everybody's trust in Blizzard is gone to shit
yeah,
because the rumors have come out from Activision after they bought Blizzard up and everything, that basically Activision has absolutely no interest at all of keeping up several of the Blizzard games, and Overwatch was one of them. And they're just letting them run until people stop using them, and they don't make any more money. That's basically it, because they have absolutely no faith in the product, because it's gets such bad reviews and what have you, that they're just supporting it until they start dropping money on it, and it doesn't make as much as they want to, and then it's gone.
yeah, and
You
that's so
know?
common with games, AAA games, and big multi-million billion dollar companies that are trying to squeeze every penny out of you playing video games. It sucks. Blizzard didn't start like that.
Yeah.
And that's why wanted to support Larian Studios' Baldur's Gate 3 because they're not going to do any DLC. They're not going to do any
Yep.
microtransactions. They're going to try to deliver a finished game
Fucking
at the
beautiful.
start. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pay $60 for a game, but I have to now. Like, good on you guys. You guys deserve it. I hope more people get the message.
Yeah, Wolf says that's why I use console commands in Valheim. Too much traveling to get this to make this, so you can make that to beat Steve. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That can be frustrating.
What else you can do, Woof? Say like you're playing on a server with your friends and you're not the admin, you can go jump into one of your other games and use console commands, put it in your inventory, and then jump back in the server with your friends and be like, "Oh, I farmed all this gold. You're welcome."
Nice. Can't
200
beat that.
IQ. Yeah.
Right.
Yep, just been
Well, cool.
playing lots of games. I'm looking for different jobs and stuff that I can do from home part time. It's just
Yeah.
hard raising a kid and expecting to like have a full time job. It's not possible.
No, it's not. It's possible, but only if you're willing to sacrifice like certain things about raising your kid. Which if you're a good parent, you're not willing to do.
No, what's the point?
Yeah, there's parents out there that their mindset is, well, I got to work and my partner's got to work, so we have to have someone take care of the kid. We have to take shifts taking care of the kid, and the focus isn't on the kid, it's on how much money. And I get it. Some people believe, well, if I make a lot of money now, my kid will be happier later.
Yeah.
Well, like that's like chasing a dog's tail.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't work that way. It's you're just gonna be running around in circles, always trying to catch up with whatever you lost or what have you, and your kid's gonna be the sacrifice. So I think that's good, Johnny. I applaud you for that, for keeping your kid the focus and saying, hey, a full-time job is just not good for my kids, so we're gonna find other ways to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sending them to daycare to have someone else watch them.
Yeah. Oh, did I ever tell you my whole issue? Like with, there was only one person I ever let babysit Rachel when she was little, which was Rachel's grandmother, my wife's mother. And the only reason was, like, people would say, why don't you hire a babysitter to watch your kid? And I would always look at him and I would say to him, okay, if someone kidnapped your kid, would you be willing to give up everything you could to get them back? And they said, yeah, of course. I said, okay, how much would you pay someone to watch your kid to make sure nothing happened to him? And they stop and they go, what do you mean?
Mhm.
I go, well, you just said you would give anything you could if your kid was kidnapped. Okay, so before your kid is kidnapped, not saying they will be, but how much would you pay the person to watch your kid to make sure they didn't get kidnapped or they didn't get hurt or nothing bad happened to them? How much would you pay that person? Would you pay him $5 an hour? Would you pay him $10 an hour? And it's just like something goes off in their heads and they go, and it was always this kind of like cognitive dissonance. Well, they go, well, no, it's not like that. I mean, they're going to take care of the kid. I go, listen to what you're saying. You're saying that you're expecting someone who will have just as much care and protect your kid just as much as you would for what, $7.50 an hour, $10 an hour, 20. How much is that worth for you? For me, I never understood it. I was too paranoid. That just made no sense to me,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, her mother, my wife's mother, was the only person I trusted to take her, because I knew she would like lay down herself, for the kid, that kind of thing. She would do whatever she could for her. Anybody else? No, I'm not paying Susie down the street, $20 an hour to watch my kid for 2 hours.
No.
Or 3 hours or what have you. $20, she ain't gonna do nothing for $20.
No.
Someone comes in or if my kid, at the most she'll call the ambulance to have the hospital, but she ain't gonna like dive in front of a bullet for my kid if something like that, or someone comes in and tries to take care of my kid, she's running.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I'm on the same page with you, buddy. I don't know. You just hear horror stories too with like abuse and stuff, and I'm not taking the risk, man. Not
See,
worth
that
it
can
to
go
me.
bad the other way too. Is
I
that,
know.
and I've talked about it before. My issue was that I became a helicopter parent because of it. I became overly paranoid because of it. I became very like, and it was so bad that I had to go to therapy for it to work it out, to figure out what was going on, to figure out how to let go, to figure out why I was doing it. And and it wasn't good for my kid, and I'm still kind of like, she and I still talk about that time, and we still talk about openly about like how it affected her and what I was going through at the time. And so we still have to kind of like try to repair that time for ourselves. Yeah. So you got to have a fine balance. You can't let it go too far either way,
All right. Well, my kid's 3, I feel like now's the good time to be overprotective.
Yeah, because they will fuck themselves up.
Oh, yeah. This kid is trying to off himself on a daily basis.
Yep.
He's getting better, honestly. Maybe in the last 6 months, it's not so, I'm going to stand on the tallest thing in the house and jump down head first.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, what a crazy little boy.
Yeah, the crazy kids.
Boys
Johnny,
are insane.
I got to get going. I'm done for the day.
All right, buddy.
So I'm going to take off. Johnny, I want to thank you so much for being a guest and for talking to us and letting us know about what happened with the weather out there and out in the desert. That was really interesting. And about your bread and about your kid. Thank you for sharing all of that stuff. It
My
was really
pleasure.
great talking to you. It's always good
You
talking
too.
to you. And Wolf, it's good having you here, and everybody else that was viewing and watching. Thank you so much. I may or may not do another stream tomorrow afternoon. I don't know how that's going to go or if I'm going to have the time for it. We're going to see. So make sure you follow or subscribe, whatever service that you're watching me on right now. I'm on PeerTube, Twitch, YouTube. Make sure that if you're watching from one of those places, you hit that follow button, you hit that subscribe button, whatever they have, so you can know when I'm going to be on for the next time. Johnny, thank you. Wolfman, thank you. As always, everybody else, have a great day, and I'll talk to everybody later. Bye, guys.